Foreign Minister, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
I just saw you talk to the Mexican Foreign Minister. There's a lot that the world is trying to do to help Mexico right now.
I took the opportunity to extend our deepest condolences to the Mexican Foreign Minister, and I also offered him whatever support we could provide should they need it. Australia stands ready to support Mexico at this terrible time, and we hope that people can be rescued, although sadly many have died.
It's really a tragic thing, and it's happening right as the world leaders are gathering to try to solve the world's problems. You obviously have been in the sessions, you heard President Trump yesterday, and you've met with members of the administration. First and foremost, what did you make of President Trump's very florid, some would call aggressive language towards North Korea?
I believe that the President is seeking to focus the world's attention on the fact that North Korea is in violent defiance of numerous UN Security Council resolutions that ban its missile testing, that ban its nuclear weapons program. What North Korea is doing is illegal. It presents a threat not only to our region, but it is a global security risk. And the President was very much highlighting the North Korean regime's provocative and threatening behaviour and the desperate need for all countries around the world to be part of a collective strategy to force North Korea to change its behaviour.
You in your region have had to deal with this North Korean threat for a long time. Obviously South Korea, Japan are closer, but nonetheless it's a real threat to the region. President Putin of Russia said, trying to put more sanctions on means nothing. He, quote, said, they're ready to eat grass in Pyongyang rather than give up their nuclear ambitions. Given that, what is the real practical way to deter them from ever using? I mean, they've got them, you can't unget them, they have the weapons.
Up until now, these sanctions have been against individuals and entities, but for the first time, the UN Security Council has unanimously, and that's important, unanimously enforced a sanctions regime that is the toughest and most comprehensive yet across whole sectors of the North Korean economy. And these sanctions must be given time to work. I don't accept that the sanctions have failed, because this is the toughest, most comprehensive package we've seen so far, and it will take some time for them to have an impact. It is a collective strategy, and I believe that we must exert far more political, diplomatic and economic pressure on North Korea to compel it back to the negotiating table. We've seen this happen before. Of course, North Korea has much greater capability than in the past, and it's demonstrating that on a far more frequent basis. But nevertheless, the alternatives would be catastrophic. We must try every political, diplomatic and economic avenue we can.
Can I shift to the climate, obviously? I mean, here we are talking not just about a natural disaster, which is the hurricane, but, the earthquake, but
Yes.
the hurricanes that are coming. And all the global science says that the warming atmospheres, the warming seas are exacerbating this. You know that President Trump is pulling the United States out of the UN Climate Accord. For your region and for Australia, what does this mean?
We are disappointed that the United States administration is withdrawing from the Paris Agreement, and we've made that clear on numerous occasions, not only to the administration but also here at the United Nations. And we hope that the United States will continue to ensure that it reduces its emissions. The President has said they are on track to reduce emissions, that they are, through new technologies, able to come up with cleaner forms of energy, and that's what all nations are seeking to do. The Paris Agreement represented a global resolve to reduce emissions and to address the impact of climate change. For our region, it's particularly important because it is a natural disaster zone in the Pacific, particularly with cyclones, hurricanes, earthquakes. And so we are very focused on ensuring that we can be more resilient against the impacts of climate change. Australia, of course, is the custodian of the Great Barrier Reef, one of the, in fact, the largest coral structure on the planet.
Which is dying as we speak.
And it has been affected by a recent bleaching event, and other World Heritage listed reefs are being affected. So we must all work together, and of course, it's only a global solution. Climate change doesn't respect borders. All countries must play a part.
Yeah, which is a direct comment on President Trump's sort of sovereignty and nationalist policy. I mean, these are all global problems.
Well, problems that do not respect borders.
Yep.
And so we have to work together, as we have been doing this week, in finding new ways to engage more closely as we address some of the global challenges we face.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Foreign Minister Julie Bishop, thanks so much for joining us.